For more on this historic prisoner swap, let's bring in Michael O'Hanlon, the Brookings Institute Philip H.K. Knight Chair in Defense and Strategy, and Michael McFaul, former ambassador to Russia and NBC News international affairs analyst. It's great to see you both, Mr. Ambassador. I'll start with you. What are your reactions here to what we've learned? What stands out to you as most significant about this deal?
Well, my first reaction is joy. This is a fantastic day for the families of those that have been released. I know 3 of the Russians that have been released personally. This is a fantastic day and an unexpected day, at least for me. Yes, they've been working it for a long time. There's been hints, especially around, earlier this year when there was hints that Navalny might be involved, but a great day of elation for them. 2, it's a fantastic day for diplomacy. This is an extremely complex deal that has been done. My suspicion is it involves people from the president to the Secretary of State to the National Security Advisor, the special Roger Carson's, his point on this in a complex way, because it was a very complex deal involving multiple countries and some very difficult decisions, trading real criminals for innocent people. Those are hard deals. People keep saying it's the biggest deal since the Cold War. Maybe Mike O'Hanlon knows the Cold War better than I do. I can't remember a deal this big during the Cold War. And then third, it's also a day of sadness for me because one of the Americans left behind, his name's Mark Fogel. I knew Mark when I was ambassador. He was a teacher to my kids. I wish he was in the deal. And there are still hundreds, if not thousands of Russians, including people close to the Navalny group, that are still sitting in jail. 4 got out, but hundreds of thousands of them are still, hundreds, if not thousands, are still in jail today.
Michael McFaul, of course, we're all curious if you could kind of answer that question about the historic significance of this. And also, is there any concern about the precedent it sets? I'm sorry, Mr. O'Hanlon, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Ambassador McFaul did a great job, as always, laying out the basic deal and why this is a good day, and I agree. But yes, there has to be concern about the process, the mechanism, and the perverse incentives that have now essentially been solidified by this deal, because it was something we were so strongly in favor of that it makes it clear to Vladimir Putin, if you want to get other Russian bad guys out of Western jails, just kidnap some Americans. And, it's a tough call about who you're going to let go. I would not let a mass murderer go back to Russia if he or she were likely to do it again. Somebody who's carried out one political assassination or had a Wall Street scam versus getting some very decent people back. I think I'm prepared to hold my nose and make that bargain, but I worry about how many more people Putin's going to try to seize. And certainly if I were thinking of going to Russia now, if I were especially Russian-American by background, if I were in a politically prominent role and somehow contemplating going to Russia, even, for example, as a non-governmental negotiator over some exploratory process to set up a peace deal someday, I would think twice, because I think Putin's made it abundantly clear he will find pretext to grab people to get back home individuals that he wants liberated and back in Mother Russia.
So in other words, you think it's unsafe for any American with that kind of profile to travel to Russia today?
I have that sense. I'd love to know what Michael McFaul would say, but my sense is if you had any reason to think that Putin might put you in his sights, I'd think at least twice and maybe seriously consider avoiding the trip altogether.
Ambassador?
I agree completely. And the State Department gives that warning to American citizens. And particularly for all those American business people that chose to stay in Russia and subsidize Putin's war machine to kill Ukrainians, they should leave now. They should get out now, because those, I think, are the next wave of people that could be exposed. Opposition people are not going to go back. Diplomats have immunity. But Americans who chose to stay against the advice of many people like me that said you should get out and stop subsidizing this war, those companies should be thinking twice about staying in Russia today.
Fair enough. But Michael Hanlon, I'll ask this to you. I mean, Evan was a journalist, and it's obvious that if we want any sense of what's going on in Russia, there's going to need to be journalists from major organizations like the Wall Street Journal working there. Missionaries, they're going to say this is what we do. We go into dangerous places. So should they be included in the ranks of those who steer clear of the country?
Well, like I said, think twice, think 3 times, maybe don't go if there's a way to avoid it. But I didn't try to suggest there should be a blanket prohibition.
Right.
I admire the bravery of people willing to take the risk. Obviously, a lot of Russians are taking the risks. and still try to get some semblance of media and journalism out of Russia to the extent possible. And so certainly I want to also tip my cap, as I'm sure Ambassador McFaul does, to all the brave people still trying to resist at personal risk to themselves. But I'm just saying we have now this additional dimension, which is if you go over and you get incarcerated, you're also giving Putin the opportunity to try to trade for some really bad guys to get back home. And that's one more part of the calculus that should be on your mind.
Yeah, more than ever.